listener production.
From the briefing team, this is The Beefing.
Hey, I'm Alexandria Funnell, and today we're talking about the Ashes, a cricket series between Australia and England where both countries compete for a tiny terracotta urn that basically represents cricket supremacy. Every couple of years, they face off in a 5-test match series. Whoever wins the series either wins or retains the Ashes. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. This is the longest-running, most legendary rivalry in cricket history. And honestly, one of the richest histories in all of sport. This is beef, and I just love it. We're talking 140 plus years of grudges, scandals, and two nations who turned what was supposed to be a gentleman's game into a full-contact psychological warfare. It's amazing. Cricket between Australia and England isn't just sport. It's a centuries-long rivalry played out with bats, balls, and some good old-fashioned sledging. And, of course, sooking. I'm looking at you, England. Whoa! So let me take you back to where it all began. The year is 1882, the Oval in London. Australia beats England on English soil for the first time, defying all odds by defending only 85 runs in the final innings to record a famous 7-run victory. And England had a full national meltdown. How dare these convicts beat the masters of the game? The Sporting Times ran a satirical obituary declaring the death of English cricket, saying the body would be cremated, the ashes taken to Australia. But England wasn't done being theatrical and dramatic. English captain Ivo Bligh vowed to recover those ashes like he was on a quest for the Holy Grail. During his tour to Australia, someone gifted him a tiny terracotta urn, allegedly containing the ashes of a burnt cricket bale. And just like that, the Ashes was born. A 10-centimetre urn worth about £3 back then now represents the most intense rivalry in cricket history. Now, if you want to understand just how deep this beef goes, we need to talk about the scandals, because the Ashes isn't famous for beautiful, high-quality cricket. Although, of course, there's that. It's mainly famous for controversy and cheating, and moments where both nations proved they'd rather win dirty than lose with dignity. Let's start with the big one, the scandal that almost destroyed the Commonwealth relations. I'm talking about, of course, Bodyline. It's 1932. Australia has Donald Bradman, arguably the greatest cricketer who ever lived, averaging 99.94 with a bat. To put that in perspective, that's a statistical anomaly so extreme, to this day it's never been matched. Bradman was a gun. He was so dominant that England was genuinely sick of losing. So they came up with a strategy, and I use that word very loosely. England's captain, Douglas Jardine, instructed his bowlers, especially his strike bowler, Harold Larwood, to bowl fast, short-pitch deliveries aimed directly at the batsmen's bodies, not near them, at them, with a ring of fielders surrounding the batter, waiting for a mistake. They called it leg theory. Australia called it bodyline. Everybody else called it attempted murder. And it worked. Well, not the attempted murder, but the strategy worked, sort of. Australian captain Bill Woodfull got hit over the heart, nearly collapsed. Batsmen were getting battered every single match.
Woodfull prefers to stand his ground and duck under the flying ball, which, by the way, is travelling at 90 miles an hour. The Australian captain continues to duck, but one ball kicks up suddenly and caught him over the heart. That was rather a nasty one, and it made the plucky Woodfull feel rather sick at the moment.
The Australian board sent a telegram to England calling it unsportsmanlike. England threatened to cancel the tour. The two governments, the actual governments, got involved. They almost had a diplomatic breakdown over this. Australia's governor said England was making cricket look like a war, which it kind of has become one. England won that series 4-1, but at what cost? Their dignity, their sportsmanship, and their relationship with Australia for the next 50 years. I don't know, maybe it was worth it. Jardine never apologised, Bradman never forgave. The Commonwealth was shook. And to this day, Bodyline remains the most controversial moment in cricket history. It proved that when England gets desperate, they will stop at nothing, and they're not afraid to play dirty. Now, Fast forward to the 90s, and this is the era of cricket I remember most. If the Bradman era was classical music, the 90s was heavy metal. Enter Shane Warney, who delivered the ball of the century in 1993, a delivery so outrageous it defied physics, science, and maybe even religion. It spun from outside the leg stump to take out Mike Gadding like some kind of witchcraft.
First ball in Test cricket in England for Shane Warne. And he's done it. He started off with the most beautiful delivery. Gadding has absolutely no idea what has happened to it. He still doesn't know.
This kicked off years of Australian dominance, featuring Warne taking the piss out of everyone, Glenn McGrath predicting 5-0 every series. England did not win an Ashes series from the late 80s to 2005. That is over a decade and a half of hurt and humiliation. That's my entire childhood, which, side note, was also a decade and a half of humiliation. But I digress. When England finally won in 2005, and to be fair, that was the best Ashes series in history, they dined out on it for decades, literally made documentaries, books, statues, and they acted like they'd won 10 series in a row when really they'd just won one. And if you want modern scandal, let me tell you about 2018, Cape Town, Australia versus South Africa. Now, this isn't the Ashes, it was in between the Ashes, but it does link back. Australian opener Cameron Bancroft is caught on camera shoving something down his pants. Not just something, sandpaper. Why would you want sandpaper down your pants, you say? Well, it's because he was using it to tamper with the ball, roughing it up to make it swing more. Captain Steve Smith confessed it all in a press conference and he cried.
Anytime you think about making a questionable decision, think about who you're affecting. You're affecting your parents, and to see the way my old man's been.
Thanks, everybody.
It hurts.
Vice-Captain David Warner was allegedly the mastermind. The whole world watched Australia's golden boys crumble. Smith and Warner got 12-month bans. Bancroft got 9 months. Smith was stripped of his captaincy. Australia became a laughingstock. The memes were endless. This happened between Ashes series, so when England showed up for the next battle, they had some solid ammunition. The crowd chanted, cheat, cheat, cheat at Warner. They wore sandpaper costumes. They brought signs. Australia's reputation for playing hard but fair was completely obliterated. Australians were mortified and England was loving it, which brings us to 2023. Lords, England's playing under their new aggressive Bazball philosophy. Johnny Bairstow is at the crease, last ball of an over. Bairstow defends, taps his crease, then casually wanders down the pitch. Australian keeper Alex Carey notices, throws the stumps down. Bairstow is out of his crease. The umpires check. He's out.
It's another short ball. Oh, now this is going to be interesting. Johnny Bairstow's walked out of his crease here. This could well be out.
England lost their absolute minds. The crowd booed. Ben Stokes called it against the spirit of cricket. The British media went nuclear. As I said, sooking. Rishi Sunak and Anthony Albanese, the prime ministers of both countries, both commented.
The PM agrees with Ben Stokes. He said he simply wouldn't want to win a game in the manner Australia did. And a full-blown diplomatic incident was on. Anthony Albanese bragging on Twitter about our men's and women's cricket team. Same old Aussies, always winning.
Australia's response was essentially, you were out, maybe pay attention.
Oh, stay in your crease, Johnny.
Best I go and wondering.
I just laugh because it's like he just walks straight out of his crease. Look at this. Oh, funny.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. England had literally tried the same dismissal earlier in the series and failed. Bairstow himself had attempted a similar stumping against Ireland weeks before. But when Australia does it, cheating, dirty. Hypocrites. And that's why there's so much beef in the Ashes series. Anyway, Australia won that series. England whined about it for a few months. It became the defining moment of modern Ashes pettiness because the Ashes isn't just about cricket. It's about moral superiority, manufactured outrage, and honestly, outlandish behaviour. So who's actually been more successful though? As of now, Australia leads every major metric across all Ashes tests ever played. Australia has won 152 matches, England has won 112, and the rest have been draws. And when you zoom out to the series results, Australia has won 34 Ashes series, England has won 32, and 7 have been drawn. So Australia still comes out on top, right? And if we break it down by era, the picture does get clearer. Pre-war, England dominated early. We know that. Then Bradman arrived, wrecked everything for England, and kind of put Australia on the map, so to speak. Post-war to 1989, it went back and forth. It was competitive. But then came the dark ages for England and the glory days for Australia, dominating the better part of 18 years. Meanwhile, England's rotating captains like Tinder matches. It was a humiliation on loop. 2005 was England's redemption arc, if I'm being fair, that one glorious series. Then from 2005 to 2015, it got competitive again. Back and forth. England won at home in 2009, 2010, 11 in Australia, and again at home in 2015. A golden era for English cricket. But from 2017 to now, Australia's reasserted dominance, winning at home in 2017-18, 21-22, and retained the urn away in 2023. The truth is, Australia has been more successful overall. We've won more matches and had longer periods of dominance. We've produced more generational talents. In my opinion, Bradman, Warne, McGrath, Ponting, Smith, Cummins, the list goes on. England's wins are often outliers or revenge arcs, which makes them sweeter for England, but rarer. They feel bigger and like they're more successful, but statistically it's Australia. So here's the thing. England always has the moral high ground, or they at least claim to. Every time Australia wins, England says, it's not in the spirit of the game. Every time England wins, it's proof that cricket was invented here and therefore still the rightful kings. The scoreboard says Australia, the ego says England will never admit it. Just my controversial take. And that's why the Ashes will never die. It's toxic, it's petty, it's perfect. And as the next Ashes series kicks off this Friday, the question isn't who will win. I mean, we care about that. It's what scandal will break the internet this time. Because if there's one guarantee with the Ashes, it's that half the fun is in the beef between the teams. Can't wait. Anyway, that's been The Beefing. I'm Alexandria Funnell. If you've got any beef you'd like us to cover, deep dive, let us know. We've been loving all your comments, all your feedback. Keep chatting to us. We're always chatting. We're always listening. Have a lovely evening. Bye.